Well, hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today, I'm going to be breaking down as well as discussing the ultimate best class setup for the M4A1 Carbine assault rifle here in Call of Duty Warzone. So of course guys, welcome back to a brand new Warzone best class setup video here on the channel. And naturally for this one, I am going to be checking out the M4A1 Carbine, which is really crazy for me to think about that the M4A1 is still a viable as well as a powerful assault rifle to use in Warzone to this day, because quite frankly, people have been using the M4 in Warzone for years, ever since day one of Warzone back in March of 2020. And actually today's class setup is a little bit of a throwback to that, where I'm actually going to be using the M4A1 as my primary weapon and the MP40 as my secondary weapon, very similar to how people used to use the M4 as their primary and the MP5 as their secondary. So yeah, we're getting a little bit nostalgic with this class setup. And with that being said, if you guys go on to enjoy today's video at any given point in time, make sure you leave the like on down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications, so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class subs, intel, and so much more. So yeah, without further ado, now that I got the intro out of the way, let's dive right into it. And alright guys, so to start off today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the M4A1 Carbine. Now, there is a reason why I want to talk about it, and that is kind of crazy to think about. However, there are a lot of people playing Warzone right now that never actually played Modern Warfare, or they never played Warzone during year one when Modern Warfare was the primary game. So they're not familiar with Modern Warfare weaponry, and more specifically the M4A1. So let's actually talk a little bit about it. Now, the M4A1 Carbine is a really versatile assault rifle, especially when you're talking about your class setup. The M4A1 can pretty much fit whatever role you want it to fit. If you use the right attachments, you can turn the thing into a submachine gun and perform very well at close range engagements. Furthermore, with a different attachment combination, you can make this thing a very stereotypical assault rifle, being effective at medium range engagements, and then you can also put on different attachments and pretty much turn it into a DMR or a semi-automatic sniper rifle and use it at extreme long ranges. However, for today's class setup, I went more with the traditional AR class setup, where you can use it at close to medium range engagements. However, depending on your playstyle for your secondary weapon, you can use something like the MP40 submachine gun, so that way you can dominate close range engagements where the M4 may not perform the absolute best, at least when using this class setup, or you can use the KAR98K, so you can perform well at very long range engagements. However, since the gameplay that you guys are watching is primarily on Rebirth Island, you are going to be seeing me use the MP40 because, you know, the M4A1 with the MP40 on Rebirth Island, since there are a lot of close to medium range engagements on that map, it's a killer combination. And with that being said, without further ado, let's actually break down the class setup a little bit. So for my primary weapon, I am going to be using the M4A1. However, if you guys would like to use any blueprints, feel free to go ahead and do so. But for this class setup, I'm just using the base variation. Moving on down, of course, my secondary weapon, I will be using the MP40, but I do want to admit the actual card for the MP40 with this attachment combination is kind of glitched, so that's why it looks weird, but it runs perfectly smooth in game. Moving on down, for my perk setup, I will be using cold-blooded, overkill, as well as amped. For my lethal, I will be using the throwing knife. However, I'm using my special throwing knife that I got with a bundle back in 2020, but it's just a throwing knife, so if you want to use that, go ahead and do so. And of course, my tactical, I will be using the stim shot, and that's because I like to stim shot rush on Rebirth Island. It's a lot of fun to do. However, if you want to swap out the stim shot for a heartbeat sensor or flash grenade or anything like that, feel free to go ahead and do so. So with that being said, let's actually break down the attachments I am going to be running on my M4A1, and it's a little bit weird because I'm used to the Vanguard weapons where I have 10 different attachments, but for the M4 I only have 5. So let's actually break it down. For my first attachment, I will naturally be using the monolithic suppressor, which will be simply increasing the sound suppression as well as the damage range. With that being said, for my next attachment or my barrel, I will be using the stock M16 Grenadier barrel, which will be increasing the damage range, bullet velocity, as well as recoil control. So pretty much all good things. And this particular barrel is the heaviest barrel of all the barrels on the M4A1, and that's why I like using it, because it makes this weapon way more effective at medium to longer range engagements, which is really good. With that being said, for my next attachment, I will be using the Commando foregrip, which will be increasing the recoil stabilization as well as the aiming stability. For my magazine, I will naturally be using the 60 round magazine because the M4A1 has a really fast rate of fire, so you will be noticing that if you use something like the 30 round magazine, which is the standard one that it comes with, or heck, even the 50 round magazine, you are going to be burning through ammunition and you're going to have to reload quite a bit. So if you put on the 60 round magazine, you can very easily take out 1 or 2 opponents and finish them off entirely without having to reload, which is really nice. Of course, moving on over to my optic, I will be using the VLK 3x optic, which is really useful because it allows me to be more precise at medium range engagements, especially when you want to be a little bit more accurate when using this thing. However, it's not a super zoom sniper scope, so you can still use this optic and perform well at close range engagements, so just make sure to keep that in mind. And And that's actually going to effectively wrap up the attachments I am going to be running on my M4A1. So before I end off today's video, I am going to be going over the attachments I am running on my MP40. Let's actually go over them. So I will be naturally using the recoil booster, the Krosnick 317mm 04B barrel, the Krosnick ISO2M optic, which just makes the iron sights a little bit bigger, the Krosnick 33M folding stock, the Carver foregrip, the 7.62 Gorenko 45 round magazine, the incendiary ammunition type, the stippled grip, as well as for my perks, I will be using unmarked as well as quick. So yeah guys, with that said, that's going to effectively wrap up the commentary portion of this video. Now before I end it off overall, I'm going to be showcasing you guys some raw gameplay of me using the M4A1 as well as the MP40 on Rebirth Island, and I got quite a few wins with it. So I hope you guys go on to enjoy that. And if you guys went on to enjoy today's video at any given point in time, make sure you leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class subs, intel, and so much more. So thank you once again for watching. I'm your host Deeper Jungle. I hope to see you in the next one.
Bounty target is down. Well done. Gas closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
UAV entering the AO.
Keep the pressure on. Fire sale is active. Buy station costs are adjusted. Enemy dropping into the AO.
I'm in their sights.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Positive on the bounty target. Sort them out.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Fire sale done. Prices are back to normal. Allied cluster strike inbound. You made it through and took the win. Well done. Bounty target is down. Well done.